mistakes. And maybe I need to start talking to him. Talk to him for sure. That's definitely probably something I'm definitely willing to do, to talk to some of the, not even people that went broke, but just people like Legend Spirit, like a Sugar Ray Leonard, Holyfield.
Yeah.
What's the other guy name? The heavyweight with the grill?
Oh, George Foreman.
George Foreman,
Yeah,
definitely need to talk to them. Even Mike Tyson. I supposed to have been talking to Mike Tyson, but I ain't never get the chance to. I think it's scheduled.
Tank and Ryan. Good fight. Yeah, who wins? What do you think wins?
You gotta say Tank, but it's gonna. I say Tank.
Yeah,
but I think it'll be a good fight.
Yeah, does it go all 12 rounds?
Huh?
Does it go all 12 rounds?
I don't think so 12, but it could. I doubt it.
Yeah.
Gervonta Davis has joined forces with a new trainer ahead of his highly anticipated rematch with Lamont Roach, none other than boxing legend Iron Mike Tyson. Their collaboration kicked off this week when Tyson visited Davis's training camp, offering hands-on guidance and overseeing his workouts as he began shaping Davis's preparation for the fight.
I think our aggression, me and Mike, we somehow like, because we came for that background.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think so. That's why he can relate to me like he can. It's not really about boxing, it's really about like everything. It's boxing included, but it's like his past. You know what I mean? You even can tell when Mike talk now, it's still like
The pain is still there.
It's still
Yeah.
there. You know what I mean?
I got one more clock, then he got some.
Tyson spent several hours at the camp, and when reporters asked about his involvement, he explained, "I'll be doing this for a while. Yeah, Tank called me, not just to help with his boxing, but to share my story and guide him." He added, "You all know I've got a powerful story in this sport, and I'm here to pass that on. I've also been overseeing his training, making sure he's in the best shape possible."
Just for Tank Davis, a lot of people say he reminds you of them. Does he remind you of yourself?
I don't know. I don't. Maybe just getting in trouble with the law. Other than that, no.
What's your time? Thanks, Mike.
All right, thank you guys. Thank you guys.
If Gervonta Davis brought Mike Tyson into his camp as a way of taking advice to prioritize his mental health, then he's certainly making a wise move. The beauty of this partnership lies in the fact that Tyson isn't just a boxing icon. He's one of the greatest knockout artists the sport has ever seen. He's perfectly suited to help Davis sharpen his punching power and run him through focused drills and exercises designed to get him back on track, both physically and mentally.
Do you feel like you're the mini Mike Tyson? What do you call your style?
I don't know. I think I'm a boxer puncher.
What was Mike Tyson?
He was a brawler.
Brawl means more than one person.
Somebody that's like.
So he knocked people out real quick. You knock people out real quick.
Yeah, but I can knock you out like.
So you saying that you can knock him out faster than Mike Tyson? If it was a challenge.
Mike Tyson. I supposed to have been talking to Mike Tyson, but I ain't never get the chance to. I think it's scheduled. It's scheduled there. You know what I mean? So, but I'm definitely need to talk to them and actually like get game from them, so I can give it to the people that's coming on after me. You know what I mean? So that definitely.
Mike Tyson has one of the wildest and most compelling stories in boxing, and in many ways, it mirrors the path Gervonta Davis is currently on. The key difference? Tyson was never really accused of ducking opponents the way Davis has been, at times. Another reason to be optimistic about this new partnership is Tyson's underrated ability as a trainer. While he hasn't taken on that role often, when he has, the results have been impressive. The last time he stepped into a fighter's corner, he helped guide an MMA fighter with no prior boxing experience into the top 10 of the heavyweight rankings, right after that fighter's boxing debut, where he managed to drop a reigning world champion in the third round. That kind of impact speaks volumes.
So you know, this is just the beginning. You hear me, Francis? This is just the beginning. You didn't get started yet. Like this, that's like this. Oh, yeah. Relax your arm.
With Mike Tyson now part of Gervonta Davis's team, Many believe Tank is already on the path to reclaiming his lost glory and avenging the defeat that left a blemish on his record. Fans were quick to express their excitement, flooding the comment sections with praise for both fighters and rallying behind Davis as the favorite in the upcoming rematch. Bringing Tyson into his camp may be the smartest move Davis has made yet, one that could reignite his passion and determination. He definitely still has some fire inside him, and I'd love to see him back, one fan wrote. Another added, Gervonta Davis might just get it right. Being teachable is huge, and he's showing that. The combo of Calvin Ford and Mike Tyson is exactly what he needs to bounce back.
They call Eastside Cruz the Mexican Mike Tyson. What do you think about that?
I don't know.
Because they compare you to Mike Tyson too a little bit. I know you say you don't think you like Mike, but you both get Mike Tyson comparisons.
I think our me and Mike, we somehow.
A third fan chimed in saying, Gervonta needs lessons from Mike. I remember when Mike said what they shared in common was committing crimes. A statement Tyson actually made when asked what similarities he saw between himself and Davis. Speaking of Davis and Tyson, boxing legend Roy Jones Jr., who faced Tyson in an exhibition bout back in 2020, has also weighed in. Until Davis's draw with Lamont Roach, Jones considered him the most entertaining fighter of the bunch. He even drew comparisons between Davis and Tyson, highlighting their explosive styles and natural ability to captivate crowds in the ring.
I think I do have more skills than Mike Tyson, as far as like, I mean, when I say I have more skills than Mike Tyson, guys smarter than like at a lower weight class always have more skills. It's no heavyweight ever in life have more skills than smaller guys. So let's just take that out the picture. So when people think that I'm dissing Mike Tyson, I'm not dissing Mike Tyson.
Roy Jones Jr. once said, he's very powerful and anything can happen at any time, inside or outside the ring. Tank is a modern-day Mike Tyson. But despite the comparisons, Gervonta Davis sees things differently. While he respects Tyson's legacy, Davis believes his own fighting style sets him apart. During an appearance on YouTuber Funny Marco's show, Open Thoughts, the two touched on a range of topics. At one point, Marco asked Davis if he ever felt like a mini Mike Tyson in the ring. Davis gave a simple, one-word response. No. Intrigued, Marco pressed further, asking what separates the two fighters. The moment sparked a deeper conversation about identity, style, and what makes Davis unique in his own right.
Tank want a rematch. Let me know now. Do you want to fight Tank again? He said he over and do a rematch. Do you want to fight Tank
100%.
again?
It's only a matter of time. We're gonna fight. We're gonna fight again. It's just whenever the fight gonna happen.
So it's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen.
Okay. They say they want it in New York again. Do you want to fight again in the Barclays Center?
I wouldn't mind, but I'd love for it to be in D.C.
Okay, cool.
I'd love for it to be in D.C.
In response, Davis explained that while he respects Tyson, their fighting styles are fundamentally different. He sees himself as a boxer-puncher, someone who blends technique with power, whereas Tyson was more of a brawler, aggressive and relentless. So in terms of boxing terminology, we're not the same, he said. When Marco asked if Davis believed he could knock out opponents faster than Tyson did in his prime, Tank clarified, "No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying Mike Tyson had power and skills. I just feel like I have the whole package. Like, I have what Mike Tyson didn't have, you know? I think so." On the flip side, the baddest man on the planet himself sees some overlap. Tyson has acknowledged in interviews that there are similarities between the way he and Davis throw punches. Compact, explosive, and with bad intentions. He's even embraced the comparisons, noting that while their approaches may differ, the impact they deliver in the ring often feels the same.
Out the picture. So when people think that I'm dissing Mike Tyson, I'm not dissing Mike Tyson for sure. It's just facts is facts. You know what I mean? I do feel as though I have more skills than Mike Tyson. I just hold that puncher power just as like Mike Tyson did when he was fighting, you know, so, and I'm gonna stand on my words.
In an interview with TMZ, Mike Tyson was asked about the frequent comparisons between himself and Gervonta Davis. Tyson agreed with the sentiment, highlighting the similarities in their punching technique. For him and myself, our stoutness, to the ground, and as I said before, catapults us like being shot from a bow and arrow, he explained. The force is unstoppable. Interestingly, during the Davis versus Garcia bout, Tyson was actually in the corner of Ryan the Flash Garcia. But after Davis delivered a knockout in the 7th round, even Tyson had to acknowledge Tank's rise. He admitted that with the win, Davis had cemented himself as the new face of boxing. With that statement, Tyson signaled what many already believe, that Davis is now one of the sport's biggest stars, and fans will be watching closely to see what he does next.
That ego shit kicks in, so I'm watching it. And he had some good qualities in it. He did some really good stuff. But the stuff that he did that represented me, I don't think people even picked up on it.
Like what kind of stuff?
Just the way he moved his head.
Yeah.
People don't know I crack my neck all the time.
Yeah, what was that about? You were always doing that.
Know what had happened when I had fought Bone Crusher Smith. He had hit me, and the next thing I know, I don't know how to crick him. I couldn't stop. My neck was messed up, so I had to go and to a chiropractor. I don't know what the heck was wrong with it.
Despite the range of opinions surrounding the comparisons, one thing is clear. Gervonta "Tank" Davis has the potential to carve out a place in boxing history. In recent times, Davis has become more open in addressing the constant parallels drawn between him and the baddest man on the planet, Mike Tyson. Known for giving away early rounds to study his opponents, the heavy-hitting Baltimore native has made a name for himself by exploiting weaknesses with devastating precision. His punching power is so extreme that some claim he's dropped sparring partners bigger than most heavyweights. Though they fought in vastly different weight classes, Davis's ferocity in the ring often draws inevitable comparisons to Tyson, the youngest heavyweight world champion, who was famously dubbed Kid Dynamite, after knocking out his first 19 opponents and going 37-0 before being upset by Buster Douglas. When asked once about being compared to Tank, Tyson joked, "I don't know, maybe just getting in trouble with the law." Tank, for his part, has responded to those comparisons on social media with a mix of respect and confidence, writing, "I agree, but I have more skills."
To you, I mean, what do you think about that?
Tank's a great fighter.
You think he's a great fighter? What do they think? What do you think about them comparing him to you? I mean, you're a legend, my friend.
Well, he'll be one too if he keeps fighting.
This confidence captures Davis's self-assuredness both in and out of the ring. While he holds deep respect for Mike Tyson, Davis doesn't shy away from asserting his own unique talent and skill set. Currently, Davis is preparing to defend his WBA lightweight world title against Lamont Roach Jr. on August 16th, a crucial bout in his journey to solidify his legacy. In his prime, Mike Tyson was an unstoppable force in the heavyweight division. His unmatched blend of aggression, speed, and knockout power made him a global icon. But his career was also defined by personal struggles and periods of indiscipline. Similarly, Gervonta Davis has showcased devastating power, though in lighter divisions. His patient, explosive style has carved out a significant place for him in modern boxing. Yet, like Tyson, Davis's path hasn't been without controversy outside the ring, adding layers of complexity to his narrative and further fueling the comparisons between the two.
Tax him up a little bit.
What do you think about Shakur Stevenson and Haney?
They both good young fighters.
You ever spar with them before?
Yeah, I sparred with Shakur for my fight for my first title shot. I sparred with Shakur. I sparred with Devin too.
Y'all got spectacular guys in the division to fight. Y'all guys should be able to make a lot of money in 2 years, huh?
Yeah, hopefully. If we all, fight each other.
Y'all got to make a pact to fight each other.
Gervonta "Tank" Davis has been under intense scrutiny since his controversial bout with Lamont Roach on March 1st. Although the fight didn't generate much buzz beforehand, the outcome, a majority draw, combined with Davis's questionable actions in the 9th round, which surprisingly went unpunished, has sparked widespread debate. Now, critics are questioning more than just his performance. Some wonder if Davis is overrated, given that he failed to secure a win despite entering the fight as a clear betting favorite. Others are raising concerns about his mental state and whether he's currently in the right headspace to compete at the highest level of the sport.
he did that.
Boxing legend Mike Tyson recently sat down for an interview with Sports Illustrated, where he was asked about his thoughts on Gervonta "Tank" Davis at this stage of his career. "Tank is very exciting," Tyson said when discussing which current boxers have caught his attention. Alongside Davis, he also named Terrence Crawford and David Benavidez as some of the most thrilling fighters to watch in today's boxing scene. When pressed about the controversial moment in the 9th round of Davis's fight against Lamont Roach, specifically whether Davis should have been docked a point for taking a knee, Tyson didn't hesitate. "Yeah, the point should have been taken away. Regardless of what was in his eye, he did the knee, took the knee, should have gotten the point taken away, whatever the rule called for," he said firmly, echoing the view of many who felt the incident wasn't properly handled.
Maybe I mistook from my vantage point, so that's my mistake. But what was going through your mind when you heard the decision?
Nobody like a draw. I'm a guy that get knockouts and things like that, but it's cool. I feel like if we fight again, I could do more. And I should have did more. I was lost in I lost track in the...
Mike Tyson remains a clear supporter of Gervonta "Tank" Davis, and will no doubt be watching closely when Davis steps back into the ring for his rematch against Lamont Roach Jr. Scheduled for August, the bout will see Davis defend his WBA lightweight world title and possibly attempt to silence critics still buzzing about their controversial first encounter. At the press conference ahead of that initial fight, Davis stunned the boxing world by announcing plans to retire by the end of 2025, adding a sense of urgency and finality to his upcoming bouts. Meanwhile, Tyson recently made headlines of his own by coming out of a 15-year retirement to fight YouTuber-turned-boxer Jake Paul. The 8-round exhibition ended in a decision loss for Tyson in what many fans viewed as an underwhelming performance. Following the fight, Davis didn't hold back. In a post-fight interview, he hinted at stepping into the ring with Paul himself, not just for competition, but to avenge what he saw as a symbolic loss for the heavyweight legend.
I think Gervonta Davis is probably the greatest fighter around now, but he's got a tough fight coming up. He's the top dog, there's no doubt about it. He showed that. But at first I thought Tank was just going to beat him in like 5 or 6 rounds. I don't know. We have to see now. I got caught up with the hype.
Jake Paul and Mike Tyson faced off in Arlington, Texas, in what was billed as the fight of the decade. However, the bout ultimately failed to live up to the hype. While it went the full 8 rounds, the 27-year-old Paul secured a relatively easy victory over the 58-year-old Tyson in front of a crowd of over 70,000 at the Dallas Cowboys AT&T Stadium. Since the fight, reactions from across the boxing world have poured in, including from Gervonta "Tank" Davis. Many, like Davis, have criticized the optics of the event, which saw a much younger Paul dominate a visibly uncomfortable Tyson, who was stepping into the ring for his first professional fight in nearly 2 decades. Tyson, a boxing icon and former undisputed heavyweight champion, has long been a source of inspiration for rising stars, Tank Davis among them. As the current WBA lightweight world champion, Davis is one of the most feared punchers in the sport today. His shots land with surgical precision, and his sharp tongue is just as cutting, especially when defending the legacy of a man he considers a hero.
People that's around Mike Tyson shouldn't let him fight that fight. Jake Paul is a big guy. Like, he can hit. And he said that he didn't try to knock him out. Yes, you did. You just couldn't get the knockout. But money ain't everything. That's true. That's why I'm 30 years old trying to get out.
Who told Mike Tyson to fight anyway? Gervonta "Tank" Davis asked rhetorically in a recent interview. Davis didn't hold back in his criticism, admitting that the fight with Jake Paul may have tarnished Tyson's legendary legacy, all for what he considered a relatively modest payday. Yeah, the fight tarnished Tyson's legacy. It definitely did. For some money, Davis remarked. To Davis, the reported $20 million Tyson earned pales in comparison to the sentimental value and nostalgia tied to Prime Iron Mike, the dominant force who ruled boxing through the 1980s before a 1992 rape conviction led to his imprisonment. Despite Tyson's troubled past, Davis has often cited him as one of his biggest influences, a ferocious, electrifying champion who went 37-0 from 1985 to 1989 and changed the sport forever. For Tyson, though, the money was worth it, especially after suffering a medical emergency in May that led to drastic weight loss and required 8 blood transfusions. While his reputation may have taken a hit in the wake of the loss to Paul, Tyson's legacy remains largely intact, a legend shaped more by decades of greatness than by a single late career misstep. And if history has shown anything, it's that time has a way of restoring greatness.
Tank, you voluntarily took a knee midway through this fight. It was not ruled a knockdown. What happened?
I just got my hair done 2 days ago, and she picked grease in my shit, so the shit was like, you know, like when you sweating and things like that, and the grease come in my face, and it burnt my eyes type shit. Damn, why y'all going like I'm saying bullshit? Like, this is real facts. Come on, man. Look at my hair. I just got my shit.
As for Gervonta Davis, he's now gearing up for a high-stakes rematch against the man who's become his toughest rival to date. With this bout, Tank Davis will be aiming to send a clear message to the boxing world that his controversial performance against Lamont Roach was nothing more than an off night, not a reflection of who he is as a fighter or what his career represents. This fight is more than just a title defense. It's a chance at redemption and a statement of intent.
Following the Tyson fight, tell us, exactly why. Expound on that.
Because why would he even want to fight him? And who told Mike Tyson to fight anyway?
Do you think that it might have tarnished Mike's legacy in a way?
Yeah.
At the post-fight press conference, Gervonta Davis offered a sincere apology to his fans, vowing to return to the gym immediately to begin preparing for the rematch. One thing is clear, Tank's planned retirement run isn't unfolding the way he expected. Heading into what was supposed to be the final stretch of his career, Davis likely envisioned high-profile showdowns, a rematch with Ryan Garcia, a long-anticipated clash with Vasily Lomachenko, and even a potential exhibition bout with Jake Paul. Instead, all those blockbuster matchups have been put on hold as he's forced to focus on unfinished business, a redemption fight against Lamont Roach.
I could have stopped him. It's me. It's me. Definitely my fault. It's all right. You know what I mean? You live and you learn. I definitely could have. That was on me too. That was on me for sure.
As Davis himself admitted, the chances of him retiring later this year are now slim, given how unpredictable 2025 has already become. On the other side, Lamont Roach comes into the rematch with his own fire, fueled by a sense of unfinished business. Though he walked away from their first fight with what many felt was a victory, the official draw robbed him of what could have been the defining moment of his career. Still, Roach has every reason to hold his head high. He accomplished what 30 other lightweight fighters before him couldn't, halting Gervonta Davis's undefeated run. And many of those opponents were far more established and celebrated, including names like Hector Garcia, Ryan Garcia, Isaac Cruz, and Yuriorkis Gamboa. That alone makes Roach's performance nothing short of historic, and sets the stage for an even more intense and meaningful rematch.
I could have definitely did more. Just a lot going on. But again, it was myself, But you gotta go to the gym and,
But Lamont Roach came seemingly out of nowhere and brought Tank Davis's momentum to a sudden halt. Now he has the opportunity to make it permanent, to prove that his performance in their first encounter wasn't a fluke, but a true showcase of his skill, grit, and ability to go toe-to-toe with one of the sport's most feared fighters. Roach will be aiming to turn that hard-fought draw into a definitive victory this time around, cementing his place among boxing's elite. That's all for now. For the latest news, key moments, big fights, and everything happening in the EU world of boxing, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. And don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Until next time, peace.